Hi, kia ora from Cat Stitch here in Wellington, New Zealand. It's June already. Holy moly. Gonna follow on with, I don't know what Flosstube it is, I just know, and I know it's June and it's a sad day. So info about will be down below. For those that are joining me for the first time, thanks very much for coming on by. Totally appreciate it. I know there's a lot of floss tubers out there that, you know, will grab your attention because there are some really incredible ones out there, and I've seen a few this week. I haven't really watched a lot of floss tube over the last couple of weeks, but I know there's a lot to choose from, and I've got a lot of catching up to do over this long weekend here in New Zealand because it's King's birthday weekend. I've just got to keep on remembering it's King, not Queen. So it's King's birthday weekend over here in New Zealand, so we get Monday off. So I've got 3 days of stitching pleasure. And sorry, you know Bobby, he just likes to make a late appearance just to, you know, just, yeah, okay. Right. Okay, and for those coming back, you know, it's the normal havoc. It's the normal, things will go a little bit awry, and that's fine. So, and for anyone that is stopping by that's not subscribed already, please, if you like what you see, if you make it through, you know, subscribe, like, comment. And for those that are new, this is Bobby McGee. He's my ball of annoyance, and you might hear Shadow Monkey, who's my cat, and he might even make an appearance if he deigns to let the paparazzi see what's going on. Otherwise he's just sitting over there observing to make sure that I behave myself. Okay, just a quick update. So the new medication seems to be going okay mentally. A lot of the side effects are a bit annoying. And I did have a little bit of a downtime, hence the reason my hair is a little shorter, because I cut it again. But I'm still getting used to the whole fringe thing, and I don't know what I'm doing with it, so just ignore the hair. And we're not here to talk about hair, we're here to talk about cross stitch, and there is a lot. I have new starts, definitely whips because of the Mania challenge, a couple of finishes, some FFOs. I've also got a little bit of haul. I have got some new charts as well as some free charts that I can tell you about, and I think that's all. So hey, settle back, grab a drink, and Monkey is making a noise. As long as he doesn't knock the camera over, we'll be all good. Yes, Monkey, I'm talking about you. Come on then. There we go. Here's the Shadow Monkey. Yeah, so let's get into this. So my Mania challenge was to try and do 500 stitches on all of my whips, as well as 15 new starts. I didn't quite make it, which is fine. I did do 500 stitches on all, but there were 3 whips that I didn't touch still, so I'll grab them for, you know, this month and pull out and do something. What? And then new starts, I know I definitely did 10 because I finished 5 of them. I'm not sure if I count another one as 3 or 1, which I'll explain later, which of some of my fully finished. And then these other new starts I've started over the last couple of days, so I'm not going to include those because they're June starts, not May starts. Oh, one of them's a May start. So I'm happy with that. I think I don't think I did as many stitches. I haven't counted or anything like that this month or last month. I will be able to get the figures so that my end of year figures will be right, but I'm just glad that I finally picked up some of those whips, and I got to admit I was having a lot of fun with them, and I was thinking, why, and now I've got some of them so close to an end, I'm like, well, I'm gonna have to get these finished. They're too close to an end to just leave back on the shelf for another few months. So they're gonna get done. So did you do Mania? How did your Mania go? If you didn't, good on you, because I'm in awe of people that did so many starts that would just overwhelm me. To have that many extra whips, especially if you've already got that many whips. But some people like starting. I go through spurts. I just want to start a whole bunch of stuff, and then I don't want to start anything else. I just want to work on what I've already got, with the odd new start. I'm now going through my start mode. So this weekend, there's two things going on. So on the Halloween page, there's the whip weekend, but it can be new starts as well. So that's really cool. And then SYS 2023 has the 6x6, and I've decided to do the 6 new starts for that one. If you haven't already heard, Colorado Cross Stitch started the next camp. The Cross Stitch Camp 2023 started on the 1st of June, and it was a bird theme this month, so I've got that started, and I nearly finished it yesterday, but just my eyes got a little bit too sore, so I had to stop right at the finish line. So I'll get that quickly finished off today. I was going to do it this morning, but it was really cold, and I didn't want to take my hands out of the covers and sit there, and I think it's too early for me to put a heater on yet. I know. I probably could by now. We're in June. But, and then I ended up going back to sleep, which is why I'm running late. Okay, enough waffle. Come on, cat. Jeez, I want to see the cross stitch. Okay, so the first one that we'll do the new starts first. I just have to, hang on, didn't realise how far the table was. Hang on, just move over a little bit. Right, so the first one, and I've still got the thread in it. I didn't realise I hadn't finished this colour yet. But the first one is one of my bee themes. So it's this one here. And I like doing these colour by colour. So, excuse the thread. That's where I'm up to. I'm getting attacked by Monkey because he wants the thread. It's pretty cool. So yeah, so hopefully that won't take me too long. And then just, and then I've got the beehive or the skip as well to do. So I'll have both of those. So I'm just going to put that there. I can't remember where I put the bag for it. My cross stitch camp one, and I didn't bring any pictures in with me. Okay, so it's this one here, Chubby Bird by Jeannette Douglas. I have wanted to start this for a while, and I've also got Chubby Bunnies, so that's going to get started straight after I finish this one to go on the same piece of fabric. I just love it. I just think it is just so simple and stuff like that. Interestingly enough, one of the colours I haven't had to swap out was the Cherry Cobbler, but mine is obviously a lot darker than the one in the picture. So, but I'm still loving it, and like I said, I'm so close to finish. So here we go. So that's where I'm up to. And I'm stitching this on 14 count, did I say the tag? Sprite Pixie, I think it is, from Jodie Redesigns, and it's opalescent, so it's sparkly, because, I like sparkly. So there we go, that's a bit closer for you. So that's what I've, see, so close to a finish, just a little bit left. So I'll get that done while this is uploading. my next start, and I did have my working copy all printed out because I spent like, because I wasn't able to focus on stitching, and so that's why I've got a whole bunch of charts kitted up, and I did working copies for everything, and then I filed away everything else that was all nice and tidy. So all my hard copies are filed away. And I had a small accident with the printer. Well, not with the printer, it was with some of my printouts, and so some of them got a little bit wet, and unfortunately this one was one of them. Well, the cover page, because I left the cover pages in here because I sort of thought I don't need the cover pages, but they'll be good for me to be able to grab and show, and I wanted to laminate them. So I'm going to have to wait till I get some more ink for my printer, and then I can reprint them and laminate them instead of just sitting them, you know, sitting there for a day, a job to do another day. But so this is what I'm doing. Spooky row. I know it's an alphabet, and I'm doing it on purpose. Oh my god. But I've decided this year is the year that I'm gonna break the rules, my rules, you know, things that I would never do and stuff like that. I'm gonna give them a go, because I probably won't go to the extreme of like samplers with like, you know, 4 alphabets in or stuff like that, because that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But a little alphabet, I'll be okay with that, especially if it goes with a theme. So I've decided to start spooky row. I've actually got 2 rows. I've got spooky row and stitching row, and of course I had to start the Halloween one first because, you know, it's me. And I've made a little bit of a start. Oh, hang on, we'll put this behind it because otherwise you'll see through it. And I'm stitching it on 16 count Rustico. So there we go, there's my little start. And yeah, of course I've changed the colour already. So that's me. So there are some colour changes because at the time I didn't want to have to order all the threads. There were some threads that yes I was going to order because they were going to go on multiple charts, and so they I thought were worth ordering. Other ones I just switched out. Okay, so that's the new starts that I still haven't finished. Next we have the whips. So my goal was to do 500 stitches. Some of them I barely managed, and some I was like about 30 stitches under, but I wasn't going to stress out over that. So this first one is by Luba Davies Atelier. It's called All Hearts Come Home at Christmas, which is this one here, what it's going to look like when it's finished. And this is what it looks like now. No, before, when you last saw it. You know, because duh, this is what it looks like now. Here we go. So I got the T and the S finished, and I started on the next H down here. And my bestie, because I posted this on my page, and my bestie's like, I thought that said all 2 farts, because she thought the H, because it didn't have the heart in the middle of it yet, she thought it was like a Roman numeral, and she didn't see the scrolly bottom line of the E, so she thought it said, now I can't unsee it. Thanks very much, Karen, if you're watching. Yes, yes, her name's Karen, but she's not one. You know, my bestie, we've been best mates for 40 years, and I love her to bits. And I'm sure that her husband cringes every time with the thought of us two getting together, wondering what we're going to get up to. So that was All Hearts Come Home at Christmas. That one I was just under the 500. I think I was about 470-ish. But I was happy with that because I didn't want to start another half one just to get those extra stitches. Yeah, no. So I was just doing to that point. This next one is by the Blue Flower, the Tudor Ermine, and I love this. It is so gorgeous. Yes, there are a couple of switches out of colour, but again, I'm trying to stitch from stash as much as possible, and so when I was kitting up all these projects, the same deal applied. And that's where I was up to before. And here we are now. Now, as you can see, the ermine is a little bit of a ghosty because it blends in a little bit. So I am going to backstitch him in that grey, just to help make him pop a little bit. Yes, monkey. Oh, you're very vocal. You're going to drive all the dogs nuts that are watching. You are? Okay. But isn't that beautiful? I just absolutely love it. And I want to do a couple of other ones in the Blue Flower series as well. I just sort of think it's getting stitched on 14 count Rustico as well. So 2/1. Really, really love that. What? You're just so bossy. Next up, this one's, it's getting there. This is definitely one that did not get 500 stitches. I got about 450, between 400 and 450 from memory. The 25 count 1/1, I can't do as much at a time. Sometimes I can stitch away. Other times it's a struggle, and this month was one of the struggle months, but I did manage to get some good progress. So this design is called Black Cat In by Sub Rosa, and that's what it's supposed to look like at the end. And this is where it was last time you saw it, and this is where we are now. So I've managed to get to the top of the house, so all of that part in there is all fill-in, so that's all going to be filled in with the black, with the onyx. So I just have the other two cats and the border across the top and the border down the bottom, and then her skin. I'm not going to fill in the sign because the colour of the fabric works quite nicely. So yeah, so there we go. So little teeny tiny stitches, but I have managed to get all the windows in, and now that's just, that house is just fill, which is great. Although I made a mistake. So the house is actually bigger than it's supposed to be, I think, or I put it in the wrong position because it's not supposed to be that high up. But fortunately, it's still going to work. So I don't know what I was doing, but there's no way I'm going to be, you know, taking it out. So I'm just fudging it, and I'll get everything to fit with it. So there we go. So that is Black Cat In by Sub Rosa. Now this next one is Carolyn Manning Autumn Meditation, which I got out of a magazine. We started it in January because our Wellington Stitchy group decided to have a Carolyn Manning stitch along, and I didn't have any until I had looked through my magazines and I saw this one. I thought, how beautiful. But I've come to realize, you know, by the time I finish the size of it, it's going to be a little bigger than I would have wanted. So I'm only going to do a quarter so that I can make it into a lovely little autumn pillow. So I'm nearly there. This is where I was when you would have last seen it. And here I am now. It's been stitched on 14 count bare branches by Jody Redesigns. So I've just got, so basically it's going to come down here and up here. So I'm nearly at that quarter point, so I'm quite happy about that. And then I can turn it into a lovely little autumn pillow, which would be nice. And then I'll have all this lovely fabric that I can do some more autumn designs on, which is what I want to do as well. Save that till last. This next one, I love the design. I just have a lot of angst about it at the moment. It's Chester's Place by Whistlestop Designs. I'm stitching it on 14 count DMC Stormy Skies, I think it is, or something like that. It's one of the marble ones that's only dyed on one side. So this is what the design looks like. This is where I was. And this one has definitely not had anywhere near 500 stitches. but it did get a few windows done. So here we go. So I know that you can't see the windows wonderfully well, but that'll change once it gets filled in. My angst thing is that I'm thinking I'm going to be pulling out all these words because you can't see them. So I'm going to change that colour, and that means I'm going to take it out of the roof as well and turn it into a brown. So I'm going to switch that out. So there's a bit of frog work and that sort of thing on this one, but that's okay. It's a beautiful design, and I will get back to it maybe when I've finished a few others, so that I can give that maybe a focus month if I clear off some of the others on the list. Next one, Grimm's Sow by Clouds Factory. This is my oldest whip, I think. I know I started it in 2020. I'm sure it was 2020 when I started it, whenever it was released. And, you know, I kept up with it pretty good. And this is where I was when you last saw it. So I just started working back on that castle again, on Rapunzel. And now I've got her done with a little witch and little prince on his horse. Now I have another quandary on this one. I may have messed up and miscounted because there's another whole section to go, and I don't know if I'm going to have enough fabric. So we're just going to be holding our breath until it's time. Okay, and then the last one is the sow, my first the coffee sow. So it's Coffee Time Design by Happy Mood Point. I've been saying it so often and I don't know why I get it wrong. So this is what the end result's going to look like. And this is what I think it was up to when we last saw each other. I will quickly go and check my last floss tube so I can double check that I'm showing the right photo here. And don't forget, I'm stitching this all with sulky threads, so they're just ones that I've picked out of my sulky range, and then I basically lucky dip for each motif as I'm doing it. So that's where I was, and I have now hit the 50%. I got to admit, this one was the one that actually took my attention most of last month because I just kept going back to it. So here we are at 50%, and I absolutely love it. Let me just try and get it in the view. There we go. So this is all my sulky conversion. Please don't ask me which ones are which. I can give you all the colours that I've picked out. But I can't say which one's where. Because, you know, just like with everything else I do, I don't really write stuff down as a usual way of doing things. But there we go. I'm so happy about this, and yeah, there's still a race going on, and I know that it's going to be, you know, it's going to be interesting to the finish line, but I have the distinct feeling someone else is going to beat me to it. But that's okay. It's a bit of a competition part of me. And then a finish, because that was the end of the whips, I think, that I still have in progress. And then a finish was my Acorn house. I was pretty close to it last time. There wasn't a lot left to do, and so this is the Acorn house drum. You're not helping. It's a Heartstring Samplery. I'll put it down below. Brain's just gone. Okay, so this is where it was, and I'm stitching it on 18 count earthen by Picture This Plus. Here we go, and that's it finished. So now I just have the challenge of putting it all together, but first I want to do some other stitching on the other side, because I like it when the fabric's nice and big, because then it holds in my Q snap better. I don't have issues with it staying. Monkey, cut it out. Stop being obnoxious, you silly pussycat. So yeah, and of course I changed out colours because it's me, and I always do that. But I love it. It was such a fun stitch. That was my birthday stitch, so I actually finished my birthday stitch. So happy to have finished that. Okay. Oh, there they are. And then the other start and finish ended up being a fully finish, and you would have possibly seen on my Instagram or in my Facebook group, my first ever strawberries. Now the design is by the lovely Cherry Parker, New Zealand designer. If you haven't checked her out, please go and check her out. She has some gorgeous designs, and I think I'm taking her to the dark side of designing Halloween, because, you know, got to bring on Halloween any time of the year. And she had asked me what I thought of, you know, maybe some Halloween strawberries, and I said, oh my god, that'd be incredible, because, you know, we don't get that option very often. You know, it's really hard to find anything like that. I mean, you know, and that might actually give me the incentive to finally do one. So she did these gorgeous little designs, and I just, yep, cool. And she and I printed them up. I mean, I printed it up, and I think I stitched them all up in 2 days, and then I had the strawberries made the 3rd day. You know, are you gonna, okay, gotta go and get the dogs. And the instructions that come with the design, oh my god, they make things so much easier. You know, they're just so really clear. The template is easy. You know, and tracing it onto acetate, I just actually used a divider, a clear divider, one that I had, that sometimes gets used in folders when you're using the envelopes and stuff. So and another one that I was going to do was I was just going to put through the laminator just the sheet so that it sealed it, and then I was going to use that as a thing until I found the other piece that I had. So really, really simple. So this is what the design was from our lovely Cherry, and I loved them. And I sort of, you know, like stitching from stash as usual, and I stitched on, I think it's called Black Friday, from Jody Redesigns. Now I don't usually stitch on dark fabrics, but this one's like a dark grey, and it worked beautifully well. And I did 3 slightly different tops because I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to finish, so I thought, well, we'll do one of each, so they're even more unique. So this is the gravestone. Fluff in it. Fluff, man, fluff. Dang cat and dog. And I just put, so for this one here, I got the ribbon, and I did a running stitch around just the top of the ribbon, and I had the black ribbon, and I just put that in. I filled it with garnet granite. Oh, for Pete's sake, garnet granite. See, 3rd time lucky. So down the bottom is the garnet granite, just to give it a nice bit of weight, and then up the top I've got the fibre fill, or the chitty stuffing, the fluffy stuff, you know. And so happy with these. So I'm going to get to put these on my tree, so I'm very happy. I want to do more of them now, so I'm looking for all these little designs that I can make the same size. So this is my simple black cat, and I've actually used glow in the dark thread for the eyes, so yay. So I've got that, and this one I just did the simple top with no ribbon, and I'm happy with that. I just sort of think it works nicely with my black cat, nice and simple. And then the last one was the pumpkin. Now we all know I'm not a huge pumpkin fan, but I got to admit I love this pumpkin. Sitting on the Book of Spells. And this one, I did the ribbon a little differently. So instead of going through the top or the bottom of the ribbon, I went through the center of the ribbon. So I followed it around the center line, and then scrunched it up and put it on. And I think I like this one, this sort of way of doing that ribbon, that particular ribbon. So again, they're all stuffed, you know, there's a little bit of stuffing down the bottom, and then there's the garnet granite, and then there's more stuffing. The garnet it's quite a hefty grain or sand or whatever. It's quite a hefty one, which adds just enough, you know, weight, which I love. So I'm gonna definitely get some more of that. So I got, yeah, so that's my first ever strawberries. And you know, honestly, if you haven't tried one, give it a go, because I was gobsmacked how simple they are actually to do. If you have a close look, the cat has wonky eyes. Now, while it's not done on purpose, I opted not to fix it because I've got wonky eyes. So yeah, so find, I mean, if you're not a Halloween fan, that's fine. But I mean, even getting this one from oh my god, now it's just gone out of my head. Even getting these ones and just using the template and the instructions, you could get a little motif and do it that way. And I'm so sorry, my brain has just gone switch off. And yet I was saying it before. The thing is, I can see it in my head. I can only get the first letter. You watch, I'll say it again later. It's not like I'm not talking to her. Cherry! Cherry! Oh, I'm so sorry, Cherry. I don't know what happened. So, I mean, you know, even getting the Halloween chart from Cherry, even if it's not something that you would normally stitch or something like that, it could be fun, you know. I mean, considering how fast the year's going, Halloween's not that far away, you know, and it's a quick stitch, and then you've got 3 lovely little decorations, you know, to put out for Halloween. They don't have to be hanging. You can just make them, you know, sit in a bowl if that's what you want. But I wanted some Halloween, some hanging up ones. Now the other thing I did, and I've had a lot of response from my post about it, so I've been answering questions. So I sort of thought, well, you know what, I will go through some of those answers while I'm showing it. So yesterday, I was prepping my meals to, you know, go in the slow cooker and stuff like that for my fortnight of meals, and I had this pile of onion skins and ends which would normally just go in the rubbish, you know, would go in the recycling and stuff like that. And I was standing there, I was looking at it, I was thinking, raced down to the room, I've got any white fabric here? Oh look, I do. Right, I want to test this. So I got all of those onion bits. Now, you know, what we call a brown onion, some would probably call it a yellow because it's got that goldy brown skin. It was the outer layer of the onion plus the ends. I just put them all into a pot, sprinkled in a little bit of salt, just covered with the water, and then I put it on the stove to boil for around about 25-30 minutes until it had started reducing, and then I turned it down and I simmered it for about another 15 minutes until it had reduced a little bit more. and then I strained it straight into a jar, and then I just shoved my dampened fabric pieces into the jar. So this is what it looked like in the jar. And then I just left it until the water went cool, which was around about 30 minutes. And then I just rinsed it off, hung it out to dry. When it was nearly dry, I grabbed it and brought it in and gave it an iron to finish drying it off, and that was it. See, I mean, I love jar dyeing, and I love playing with, you know, experimenting, playing with stuff. Does this work? Does it not? If it didn't work, I was just gonna, you know, that's okay, I'll dye it with something else. But I'm so happy with the results. So I had 3 pieces of fabric, well 4, but one of them is the same size. So I had an 18 count piece, an 11 count piece, and 2 offcuts of 22 count of Ada. Just the white. And so let me show you the results, and hopefully the colour will be better than what my photos were. So this is one of the 22 count pieces, and somebody asked, what does it smell like? Originally it smelled almost like a sweet onion, so it was actually not too bad. So it was actually quite nice. Day 2, there's no smell, the smell's gone, so that's great. So here we go. Now hopefully, hey monkey, actually that's not too bad colour wise. Monkey, jeez. So that's the front. This is the 22 count small piece. Monkey, oh, you're obnoxious. Okay, hello. And then that's the other side of it. So I'm really, really happy with the mottling. Now to get the mottling effect, if you want to get a lot of mottling, make sure you scrunch up the fabric tightly, and that sort of stuff. If you want less mottling, then have it looser in the jar. Make sure that the jar size is not, you know, if you're wanting it more, you know, like the lots of mottle, make sure the jar size isn't too big. When I'm doing multiple pieces, I use the big preserve jar. When I'm just doing, you know, like, I mean, I wouldn't do a piece just this size. I'd do multiple of this sort of size piece, but in a smaller jar, like a dolmio sauce or a jam jar. I don't put in the oven. There's just a paranoia about me putting fabric in the oven. So hopefully, can you see? Just trying to see if I can. It's a beautiful, it's like a brownie lemon. It's just really, really, really love it. And now I do have a list of fruit and veggie I want to try, and I just need to get some more fabric, and I've already organised with one person to get like an off-cut of 14 count to have a play with. So I want to get some red onion, see what that does, and maybe some berries and stuff like that. So whatever's in season, I just want to use what's in season. I'm not in something that I would normally, you know, want to eat. I'm not going to go out and get stuff that I wouldn't eat. It's like, it's not avocado season, but when it does come in, I do want to get an avocado, even though I don't eat avocados, don't like them. But I have been known to buy avocados so I can make my face packs, because it's quite good for you. You know, when I said that to somebody, they could not believe that I use it as a face pack, and I said, but it's really good for you. You know, they were actually the ones that mentioned it's really good for your body, and I said, well, then wouldn't it make sense to actually put it on your body? But yeah. Anyway, this is the other piece of the 22 count. Oh yeah, that's a good colour of it. I'm just so happy with the results of these. So much better than I was anticipating. So all I want to do is, you know, if you've wondered about it and stuff like that, play, experiment. I totally encourage you to do it, because sometimes the results are just incredible. Just make sure that you try and remember what you did, so that if you want to repeat it, you've got an idea of what you're doing, because I don't. I just keep playing and constantly get different results, which is fine, because that's what I like. This is the 11 count piece. Now it did have a stain on it, which, you know, a little blotch from when I last dyed something, but that's fine. But here we go. Just trying to see if I can. Okay, so that's nearly dark enough. It's just not catching. It's a little bit darker than it's showing. And there's the other side. Before you ask, no, I don't do tutorial movies because I just don't have the setup for it and way too technical. And then this is the 18 count, and now I know it looks really wrinkled and there's a little bit of wrinkle, but unfortunately some of that is actually the mottling because of how it was scrunched up. And so here's me ironing, trying to get it out. I need to realize, oh, it's flat. Oh, that's one of the lines going through. So I did that a couple of times, but I do need a new iron because it's not as flat as I would like it. So there's my 18 count. Loving this. So I do have plans already, I think, for the majority of these, especially with some of the new starts that I'm wanting to do, which I've got a few designs of to show you, because I did get some new patterns because, you know, I was naughty, misbehaving cat. And some of them I didn't write down who the designer is, and it's not on the front page, so I'll note it down below. But first I'll do the stash enhancement. Now it's not that I've joined a bandwagon, okay, because I was getting these last year, but I was getting the oval ones and it wasn't to do cross stitching. So I sort of thought, well, you know, I'll get round ones and I'll, you know, try that. But when every time I went to get them, there was never any in stock. And then I saw them in stock when I was getting other stuff, so I got those. These are the 3.5 inch ones. So I'm not joining any bandwagons. I'm just finishing getting what I wanted last year. So 1, 2, 3. Oh no, that's not. It's Stitch NZ, the lovely Elizabeth, who sent me my things so quickly as usual. You know, every time I order from Elizabeth, I get them within a couple of days, every single time, and I love it. I did get a bunch of threads. Now they're not all here because I needed them for some of the charts that I was starting. So, but these are the other ones that I still haven't put into the charts, that were missing a few threads. So there's a combination of Weeks, Gentle Arts, DMC, and Classic Colourworks. So that's those. So I'll have to put them into their kits. And then I was looking in the remnants bin on her site, and I got the 14 count Splash Grey Ada. I'm sure I'll find something to use this for. I don't know what yet, but I'm sure I'll find something. It's about a fat quarter. And then I got, over there, 16 count Donkey. Hey, Donkey. Sorry, Shrek. Which is actually really a nice grey. Sort of a beigey grey, which I quite like, because I'm not a fan of the Confederate one because it's too dark, and if I want like a greyish beige sort of thing, this is actually quite a good one. So I might have to get more of this one because there's a few designs I wanted to do on a grey. We'll see how it goes with this one though. And then from AliExpress, the last couple of things that, you know, I've still got another couple of things, but these are the other ones. So I've got some little flower buttons. I've got some more of my pins to make pins, and I have this distinct feeling I'm going to have to get hundreds more. And then I got some more sets of fabric. So I got the, let me get this right. So I got the yellow set, the red set, the coffee set, and the black set. That's not the size they are. They're actually, you know, this is just a quarter. They're folded into 4. And these are going to help me create my little pincushion dolls and that sort of thing. So that was Bobby's butt knocking the camera. So there we go. And I'm probably, just realised I'm probably looking at the wrong end of the camera again, because I always do. Right, on to charts or PDFs. So my printer has been overworked and has given up the ghost. So I need to get some more ink and some more paper, but that's okay. Oh, one more thing from AliExpress, because, you know, I'm starting to get addicted to these. So if you've got any gnomes hanging around, just send them my way. Look, it's a cat gnome. It's a cat one. I had to get it, you know. Again, from AliExpress, and it's very cute. And so that's going to be going with my witch up there. I've got to keep it away from Bobby because he'll think it's a toy. So yes, you will. I know you. Okay. So on to the charts from Carolyn Manning. I printed up parts 5 and 6. So that is May and June of the Grandma's Jewelry box. Okay. So there's part 5, which is really lovely, and part 6. Now the cool, I know I haven't started any of them yet. I know it's a stitch along and I haven't even started number 1. I will. Chances are this will be my stitch along next year. But you can join any time. Go and check out her page. I am going to try and remember to put all the links down below. I really probably should have started typing up a list prior, but there you go. Stitch with Coffee. I have been having some wonderful conversations with the lovely designer of Stitch with Coffee. And I'm not going to tell you why, but I am starting this. It's good because we want to have some surprises. So I'm starting this one, the Strawberry Bell Pull. That's getting started this weekend. That's one of my starts for the weekend. I've got a few of these are going to be my starts this weekend, just so you know. But yeah, isn't that absolutely gorgeous? So I'll put her Etsy page down below as well. So I'm looking forward to starting that one. And then I went back and checked out because she sent me a discount code. And I love her little Halloweeny cats. And so I thought, well, I'm not supposed to be buying anything else. So I just got one for now. But I do want all of them. I got the witchy one, the wizard one. Isn't that so cute? Oh, so cute. So I got that one. Then I am I'm trying out in regards to the Patreons and things like that. I'm only going to stick with them just for a month or two, sort of thing, because there's so many of them, and I do want to sort of, you know, check them all out in a way, I suppose. But with Yasmin's Made with Love, I really was so happy that I'd signed up when I did, because I love strawberry charts, and this is going to work really well with me starting the bell. Monkey, stop being an egg. With me starting the Strawberry Bell Pull. So it's called Strawberry Season, and I'm only on the bottom tier. There is another one, but I haven't seen what that one is. But this is the design, and this is the one that I really loved. So I mean, not that I've seen what the other one is, but I'm looking forward to doing this one as well. So I have a little strawberry area, strawberry patch, as it were. The monkey's going really weird. Have you been into the catnip again? Have you? Little druggy. Okay. A couple of free ones. Just got to quickly fold this in half because the chart's on one side. There we go. So from Silver Creek Samplers, Love Bug. Oh, sorry, June Bug. But isn't that cute? So that's a freebie on the Silver Creek website. And then on Everything Cross Stitch, their website, if you sign up with them, you've got a free design from Bobby G called Keep Calm and Stitch On. Isn't that cool? And it's not, I mean, it's not huge, I don't think. Where's the info? It is 56 by 84, so it's not huge. 14 count would be 4 by 6, 18 count 3 by 5. So yeah, it's really sweet, and I love the colouring of it and stuff. So that's probably going to get done. Now these ones don't have cover pictures in the printout. So the first one, now you would have seen that I finished Gaia from Quaternion Creations, and I really loved it, and I was chatting and I ended up going and getting another one that I absolutely loved, and it is called I Am the Colour, and that's this one here, and I just fell in love with it. I just sort of thought, absolutely gorgeous. It says I am the colour and the colour is me. Absolutely lovely. And that'll be a beautiful spring one as well. So I am stitching that one up. And then of course I got a voucher, a discount code. So I went back because there was another one that I just about got at the same time, but I thought, no, only one cat, sort of thing. Now, Nevermore, Raven, Edgar Allan Poe. This is sort of like a play on words, because instead it's never mind. I mean, how could I say no to getting this one? It's just 2 colors. You can make the moon using glow in the dark thread. You could use étoile for actually 3 colors. You can use étoile for the bird maybe, or for the Nevermind, or stuff like that. There is so much to play with on this design that you can really personalize it for you. So that's high on my list of starts. There's only so much non-Halloweeny sort of stuff that I can handle. So pulling that on in. It's not strictly speaking Halloween, but we do it in a Halloween group, so there we go. Now from Erin Elizabeth, the lovely Erin Elizabeth. My design list is getting bigger and bigger of what to get from her, and I've got another 2. I want to get all the Canadian ones because I want them for my Canadian corner, because her designs, although I have seen that Shannon Christine, I think it is, has also done like a Canadian mug, so I'm going to have to hunt that one out. But I have a distinct feeling, thanks to Erin Elizabeth, that's how I'm going to get my cross-stitch designs for my pillows and stuff like that, because she has brought out another couple as well. So they're next on my list to get after I get these ones done. So first to go with my B series is the B tier, which is beautiful. And they're not big. They aren't. They're only 63 by 83. So a lot smaller than the Madame Chantilly ones. So for me, these are doable and they're useful. so I can, you know, turn them into something that I will be able to do something with. I want to do the Madame Chantilly, but instead I think it's going to be a case of I'm going to be picking out motifs from hers, from Madame Chantilly, because the end size is just a bit too big for me to make use of, but I do want to do a lot of the motifs of the different designs, and then they'll probably get rehomed. And then of course this one, oh, I just fell in love. The Canadian Tear. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at the, you know, and the little old mountie up the top, and the ice hockey boot, and maple syrup. I miss maple syrup. I miss maple sugars. Oh, honestly, when I came back from Canada, I had bags and bags and bags of maple sugars. They were like gold, and it was like one a day, just so I could indulge and stretch out my adventure in Canada just that little bit longer. I miss maple sugars. I brought my dad back a can of maple syrup, and yeah, he was the same, eking it out, but he'd treat himself on certain days to, you know, really put the flavour on the pancakes. So he was really happy. I did give him one bag of the maple sugars. I did one, maybe half of one. He wasn't really, you know, he didn't really eat that sort of thing, so I didn't feel bad about not sharing. Now this is, I think it's PrimStitcherShoppe. This is their Halloween library, and it didn't have a cover photo, so I just basically screenshotted the image on the Etsy. So I'll have to laminate that one. And then I can't remember who did this one, so I will put it down below, but part of my bee lot, and it is a little bit bigger, but I think it's one that I'm happy to have framed up on the wall in a square. Beautiful. God, is that everything? Okay. Couple of shout outs. First to the lovely Nicole from North Island Stitcher. Darling, please take care. Make sure you rest. That dang COVID, man. That ain't going to go nowhere. And also to my cohort in the organisation committee for the retreat next year, Nara, how's it going? I have been, you know, building up my playlist of who I'm going to be watching, and all my favourites are on there, so I'm really looking forward to catching up with everyone on my, you know, all my favourite flossies. I see that, you know, Sarah's Stitchy Spot, they've got one. Aussie in a Kiwi World, I've got to go and watch her because, you know, Judy and Judy and I, I haven't printed it out. Judy and I are going to be starting the same one next month. Is the Wizard of Oz tier from, you guys are just getting distracted, the Wizard of Oz tier from Tiny Modernist. We're both going to start it, so we might do a sale for it. If you're wanting to get it, go and check it out. It is such a cute design, and we would love to have you join us, probably about the 1st of July. Well, you know, we'll talk about that later because it's way too far off. We've only just gotten into June. Obviously I caught up with Colorado Cross Stitcher so I could get the info about the camp. Magnolia Stitcher, good old Mary, hello Mary, and Wombat Hollow, and I you know, I've pretty much saved a lot for this weekend because it's just going to be constantly playing all weekend. So it's great that I was going to watch them through the week, and then I sort of thought, no, then I won't have enough to watch on the weekend as a long weekend. So I've been watching my crime, my Emma Kenny. I've been catching up on her ones because I've missed quite a few of those. So I know there was some that I wanted to mention, and I kept on thinking I need to write these down because it was last week, and of course I don't know what I did last week. My brain is mushy. Don't know where that voice came from, but yeah. So I will. I'm not great at, you know, I mean, I am learning how to, even, you know, how you don't, God, that piece of hair, see, this is what happens when you go crazy with your scissors. I didn't go crazy, I just basically put my hair in a ponytail upside down, like I was like this, and just went not realizing that would mean that I'd be cutting the front shorter than the back, because of the way that I had the ponytail. So now I've got all these bits that are halfway. Anyway, now I'm rambling, and I really need to get this up and running because I'm so running behind on everything. I've got to go and portion up that monkey. Do not start attacking Bobby. You really have been into that catnip, haven't you? Right, got to go break up these two, otherwise there's going to be a bit of a debate going on. You just watch what monkey's doing, otherwise he'll get you. He's stalking you just then, Bobby. You'll be in trouble. Watch your butt on the camera. Okay. Right. So we will catch up in 2 weeks. Right. The retreat. Any info that we've got? Okay. So it is second weekend of August 2024. Okay. So not this August. Next August. We're just planning one heck of a long way ahead. Okay. Our chosen charity to support and fundraise for is Women's Refuge. It is a very important charity, which means something to all of us, and especially if you have a look through COVID, through a pandemic and things like that, the need for places like the Women's Refuge have increased, and so they are who we want to support. So we're fundraising for them. I have been sending out some emails and messages to designers and creators of all sorts of, you know, stitchy things to see if anyone would like to donate and sponsor. And our stitchy community really is an incredibly generous community to be part of. The designers blow my mind. Some of them I haven't stitched anything of yet, but what my hope is for the designers that have offered a chart is I want to do a model of one of their designs to have on display. So I'm going to have like a lot of secret stitching, because I don't want people specifically knowing yet. They may find out, but for now we're keeping it on the down low as to which incredible designers have offered to support our cause for the raffles and for the goodie bags and things like that, designs that they're donating. Yeah, I'm just absolutely blown away by the support. You know, little country, bottom of the world, top of the world. Shouldn't we be at the top of the world because we see everything first? You know, just saying. I think the globe is wrong. I think they need to sort of tilt it up that way, but no. Okay. Bottom of the world. And yeah, our international stitchy community is just incredible. So for those that are sponsoring us, or anybody that would like to sponsor in any way, let me know. I've got my information down below to contact me. We just appreciate it so much. We will be promoting all of our sponsors so that you know who those incredible generous people are. And I'm actually looking forward to stitching a whole bunch of designs by designers I've never stitched before. In all honesty, I just gotta go and have a look and see which designs I want to do, just so I can have like a sample for each designer. And that's definitely going to keep me busy. So, you know, at least I know I've definitely got, you know, some things that I have to get stitched up. Other things, you know, my choices, I just do blasé. But when I've got a goal, you know, for things and stuff like that, I don't mind that too much. So I'll be doing a heck of a lot of models over the next 14 months. Hopefully going to try and fully finish all of them, but some of them may just be generally mounted on and stuff like that, but we'll see how we go. So yeah, it has been an incredibly blessed week with the responses that I've received. Yeah, absolutely incredible. And I know that with their support, it's going to make it an incredibly successful retreat for us here in Wellington. And I mean, some of the donations that have been offered, I'm just blown away, absolutely blown away. So for those that are going to attend Wellington, trust me, we are going to try and blow it right out of the water. we really want to try and raise as many funds as we can for the Women's Refuge, and I believe that with the help of our international community, we're going to do pretty damn good. So we will try and update as often as possible any information, confirmation about things. It's definitely going to be in Lower Hutt, okay, and the location of the venue is very central, so it's really close to food, to stores, to supermarkets, and it does have accommodation available there. And Nicole is organising all that, so make sure that you keep an eye on the New Zealand Stitchy page. Nicole will let everybody know information as it comes up. I just wanted to let you know so that you know that Nicole is busy doing stuff, but she's feeling like crap right now. Her kids have it as well, so it's a sick household. So I've told her just rest, but she's like, oh yes, but no, just rest, Nicole, stop, just rest, you know. And you'll be back on your feet, you know. At least she got it while she was already off work for her other injury. So it's not been a good month really. But yeah, so we will update as we get more information. This is just the early stages. Like, we've only been doing it properly for about a month, I think, and it's not until August next year, so it's not like we don't have time. But we do want to try and get as much information to those attendees as we can as it comes in and as we confirm things, because you know, we're available to answer any questions. If we don't have the answers yet, it could be something that's in the pipeline, but we'll do everything we can to answer your questions. So we will have an email address at some point that you'll be able to email, that we can answer your questions, or you can just PM us or that sort of thing, if you know, if you're wanting to know something, and we'll see, you know, and we'll answer you as soon as we can. So there we go. So yep, over the hour again. Just about did it. Oh, never mind. Right. Okay, that's it. We are signing off. We are going. It's, oh man, 10 minutes over. Okay. So for everyone out there, if you're cool, please keep yourself warm, snuggle up and stuff. I've got a blanket on me. It is actually quite cool. If you're hot, make sure that you keep yourself cool. Drink plenty of fluids. Do not dehydrate. We don't want you getting sick and that sort of thing. And don't forget, you march to the beat of your own drum, because that's where the magic happens. And happy Pride Month, everybody. Take care, be kind, and share the love. Toodles.